All right, welcome back. In our last explainer, we really dug into why AI is so critical for your business, like right now. But just knowing that isn't enough. To actually use it, there's one really crucial mental shift you have to make. And that's exactly what we're going to explore today, the workflow mindset.
So, if you're running a service business, I want you to be honest for a second. Does this sound familiar? You ever get that feeling that you are the single biggest bottleneck in your own company? You know what I mean, right? Where every piece of information, every decision, it all has to flow through you?
Yeah, I'm guessing you know that feeling all too well. It's that prospect call that comes in while you're up on a ladder and straight to voicemail. It's that estimate you swore you'd send out, but it's just sitting in your drafts folder for 3 days because you're totally swamped. Or, and this is a painful one, it's that awesome wed lead that comes in Saturday morning, but they don't hear a peep from you until Monday afternoon. And by then, they've already hired your competition. Look, this isn't you failing. This is a system failure.
So the old way of thinking, the typical solution is, man, I just need to hire someone, right? But that whole approach, hiring for a role, it's kind of an outdated way of thinking. And honestly, it can create just as many new problems as it solves.
This is what we call role-based thinking. You go out looking for an office manager or a receptionist. But here's the thing, you're not really hiring for one job. You're actually hiring for this bundle of like 20 different jobs. And yes, some of those tasks need real human skill and judgment, but a lot of them, they're just routine, they're repetitive, and let's be honest, they're the first things that get dropped when things get busy.
And this is so important to understand. The problem isn't the person you hire. It's the bundle of tasks you hand them. The whole goal here isn't to replace people, not at all. It's to unbundle those tasks, so those important routine things stop falling through the cracks just because a good employee is busy doing something else that requires their brain. So the solution? It really does require a bit of a mental shift. You hear thinkers like Alex Hormozy talk about this all the time. The idea is to stop seeing your business as just a collection of job titles and start seeing it as a collection of workflows. This right here, this is the shift. Instead of asking, who should I hire for this? Workflow thinking makes you ask a much more powerful question. How does this get done and what parts of it can be automated? See the difference? You stop focusing on just filling a role and you start focusing on perfecting a process. And that one little change in perspective, it just opens up a world of new possibilities. Okay, so to make this feel a little less abstract, let's make it really practical. Let's apply this way of thinking to probably the most important moment in any service business, that very first time a new customer reaches out.
See, a single prospect call isn't just one task. It's a whole series of them, right? You've got to answer the phone, greet them, and figure out what they need, qualify if it's a good fit, collect all their info, book the appointment, send out a confirmation, add them to your CRM, the list goes on. Now, your expertise, your brain, is absolutely needed for that qualifying part. But does sending a calendar invite and a text reminder, does that really require your personal attention every single time? Probably not.
And you know, this whole logic of unbundling tasks, it doesn't just stop with the phones. You can apply this way of thinking to pretty much your entire operation. Just think about your estimates for a second. Yep, part of it is your expert judgment, but a whole lot of it is just calculating material costs and formatting the document, right? That's a workflow. How about following up on all those quotes you sent out that you never heard back on? Total workflow. Or here's a big one, asking every single happy customer for a 5-star review. That is a perfect, high-value workflow that almost always gets forgotten in the day-to-day chaos.
It reminds me of something the author Seth Godin talks about. He says the opportunity is to focus on the work where you get rewarded for being more human. The routine, repeatable stuff, that's what AI can handle. And you have to see this not as a threat, but as a massive opportunity. It frees you up to do the work that only you can do, building that relationship on a site visit, creatively solving a tricky problem, the actual human parts of the job.
Okay, I get it. Right about now, you might be thinking, wow, this sounds like a massive project. Where do I even begin? And it can definitely feel overwhelming. But the absolute key, is not to try and overhaul everything at once.
No, you don't boil the ocean. You just start with one. That's it. Just one.
So how do you pick that one? Simple. Pick the process that causes you the most pain, the one that genuinely keeps you up at night. Is it the constant missed calls? Is it the bottleneck of unsent estimates? Or maybe it's the fact that you do great work, but you haven't gotten a new Google review in 6 months. Whatever that thing is for you, start there. Because here's what happens. When you get that one workflow dialed in, when it's running automatically in the background, something really powerful starts to shift. You'll feel it. It's the move from being constantly reactive to finally feeling like you're in control. And really, that's the payoff. This isn't about getting excited about technology just for the sake of it. It's about getting your freedom back. It is the fundamental difference between being trapped in your business and truly, finally, running it.
But what happens when you actually try this? You adopt the workflow mindset, you pick your biggest pain point, you try to plug in an AI tool, and it doesn't really work. The results are kind of mediocre, it feels clunky. This right here is the exact moment that most business owners give up on it.
So in our next explainer, we're going to tackle that exact problem head-on. We'll explore why working with AI is actually a lot like training a brand new employee, and why understanding that one idea is the secret to not giving up too soon. Hope you'll join me for that one.